Welcome back to Grow Your Own Vegetables, where a community of trusted teaching partners helps you grow real food in any space, in every season. Do you only have a windowsill, a patio, or a tiny garden bed and feel like you can't grow much? Most of us think we need a big yard. The truth is, 5 of the most nutritious greens on Earth will thrive in almost no space at all. Today, you'll see all 5 in one video. What you're about to watch is a live talk given at one of our past Grow Your Own Vegetables events, recorded for gardeners just like you. Today's teacher is Stacey Murphy. Stacey is a master gardener who has been growing food in tight urban spaces for over a decade, and she's taught thousands of gardeners across 6 continents. Today, Stacey takes you through all 5 greens: pea shoots in 7 days, microgreens on your windowsill, the best leafy greens for a tiny bed, and the wild edible greens that actually love shade. Pour yourself some tea. Let's spend 20 minutes together. For more information, free resources, and gentle guidance, you can find us at growyourownvegetables.org. And to grow alongside other gardeners just like you, join our free community at GYOV.org. Settle in. You're going to enjoy this.
What are pea and sunflower shoots? Do we plant regular pea and sunflower seeds, or are they something else? Can they be planted outside? Okay, so yes, you can grow pea and sunflower shoots outside. The reason most people grow them in trays is you've seen the spacing, and they're something that you can grow in a really tiny space, so people tend to grow them in a really tiny space, but you can grow them outside if you want. You could grow a little bed of them if you like. Or you could plant them in between things if you want little shoots and you want to, you have some extra space to cover. You can definitely plant them outside. Now, the reason why pea and sunflower shoots are a little bit different, you can eat whatever pea and sunflower shoots that you want. They're all edible, but growers and eaters have found that specific seeds are preferable. So what do I mean by that? So when I go to Johnny's website, basically I can go to vegetables, and listed in all the vegetable seeds are peas, but then separately is something called shoots. And so if you go into the one that's called shoots, you find these little guys. And what I grew were these field peas and these striped sunflower seeds. And the reason is that the field pea, look at the field pea versus the tendril pea. So I don't like those little tendrils. They basically tickle my throat too much when I'm chewing them. So I choose the field pea instead. So each pea has a different texture, a different arrangement of its leaves, a different number of tendrils. And I've just found that the field pea has the best consistency for me, for what I like. And then I also found that the gray striped sunflower has a really delicious nutty flavor that I like. So those are the 2 that I grow, but you could grow any peas or any sunflower seeds and they would still be edible. So these are things, a lot of times with plants, it's just years of experience that people have with the plants, and it's just accepted that these are the things that taste the best are the things that start to get chosen. So with that said, I would encourage you, if you have pea seeds and you want to try to grow them as shoots, I would say go for it and try them, because you know, the reason why gardening is what it is because people like us have experimented and tried things and found better ways. And so you might discover something that people haven't tried, because sometimes when you're a beginner, you've asked a question that nobody else has asked. And so, you know, go for it if you want to try. If you don't want to spend any additional money on pea seeds and you already have pea seeds and you want to sprout them, I say go for it and grow them into shoots. And the same goes for the sunflower seeds. See how they taste. And one last note about this. There was one more thing I wanted to mention, which was, oh goodness, I lost it. I might come back to it and let you know. But, oh, I know what it was. So some of the peas that have been, or that are on the market for pea seeds have been bred for the best peas. So that means, the sugar snap peas, they've been bred so that they have a certain pod size, a certain pea size, a certain crispness of that pod, and they aren't necessarily grown for what the leaves look like or what the leaves taste like, whereas these shoots are the ones that people have found taste the best, right? So that's the point I'm trying to make. And again, feel free to experiment and let us know what other varieties you might have tried and how they tasted.
So now you know what to plant for pea and sunflower shoots, and they're ready to harvest in just 7 days. But there's one timing mistake that ruins most microgreens before they even get going. Stacey's about to show you exactly when to take the lid off your sprouts.
Okay, so she asks about the sprouts, and on day 2, do I take the top tray off of the sprouts and let them grow in from there on? So I wait for the sprout to push, trying to figure out how to describe this without a slide. When I grow sprouts, I take the second tray and I nestle it on top of the first tray so that the bottom of the tray is resting on the sprouts. And then basically that's its cover. And then what happens is as the sprouts start to push upward, once they start to push up like an inch, then I take that tray off, maybe less than an inch, maybe more like half an inch. So it's, what day is that usually? I think that would typically be day 3, maybe even 4, that I pull that top piece off. So that's a great question. I need to look at the exact day of that. But you can, basically as long as the seeds have sprouted, you can take the top off usually, and they'll continue to grow. What that top does is it just ensures that the moisture stays in the plant, so there's not a lot of airspace above where the water could evaporate off of those seeds. So that's what's going on there.
That covers your indoor greens. Now let's step outside. If you have even a tiny 3 by 6 foot bed, you can grow 5 specific leafy greens that keep producing for months. Here are Stacey's top picks, including one most gardeners have never even heard of.
I've got a 3 foot by 6 foot plot with at least 6 hours of sun on the March equinox. That's awesome. That means it's going to get even more sun throughout the rest of the summer. That means that you probably got a good amount of sun in the winter months too. She says, I eat a lot of greens. I sheet mulched and built the soil. I want to grow some greens. I love chard and bok choy. Ideas as to what is the best use of the limited space. So for now, I just want to go through some of the different greens that you might choose. And on the next call, what I might do is show a diagram with some different, or I might even post it on Facebook after this too, showing kind of organization of these things. So the good news in Richmond, California is that you're blessed with great conditions and you can grow lots of greens and you can grow them year round. Your temperatures are probably not even going down to freezing for most nights in the winter. So you can really grow year round, which is really cool. It's not spiking up too high in temperature during the summer. And in the winter, you're going to have the benefit of having at least a little bit of moisture and rain. So in terms of greens that you can grow, you've got your big leafy greens like your kale, your collards, your chard, celery, bok choy, mustards, and Japanese cabbage. These are all things where you can take outer leaves and the plants are just going to keep growing. The bok choy at some point will give up. It'll be like, I've had enough, I'm going to stop producing now. But the other ones here are really just going to keep producing a lot of food over time. So I would recommend planting them. And shiso is actually kind of an herb, and it would grow really well as well. Perennial, you could put in some sorrel, and it's kind of a lemony green, and it's just going to grow year round for you. And if you make green smoothies, this could replace lemon in your green smoothie, which is really cool. It'll give you a nice tart lemonade-y kind of flavor. Lots of salad mixes, of course, and these will last several weeks, so that you'll cut them and they'll come back. And then you can get creative with like pea shoots and just grow them like a salad mix. Just put down a lot of pea, especially in the winter time, put down a lot of pea seeds. I wouldn't do this in the winter. It's probably going to get too hot, or in the summer, it's probably going to get too hot for you. But in the winter, put down lots of peas and just grow pea shoots like a bed of lettuce. And some of the things that are really amazing that you might want to look at beyond that, the red giant mustard here is something that I really, really enjoy in the garden. It's similar in, it kind of looks similar to the Japanese greens, the mustard greens. It's got a nice mustardy flavor, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Mizuna has a nice mustardy flavor as well, in these stir-fry mixes too. So these are all different types of greens that are similar to bok choy, but a little bit different that you might want to consider. And that sorrel that I talked about, that finding a perennial sorrel that's lemony, arugulas and greens mixes that are like salad mixes are going to be great for you. Tatsoy is another Japanese green that's delicious, and green wave is another mustard that's nice and spicy and you can grow a ton of mustard. So those are the types I would think about.
But what if your tiny space doesn't get full sun? What if it's a shaded corner or a north-facing window? Most gardeners give up on those spots, but they shouldn't. Stacey's about to show you 7 wild edible greens that grow happily in total shade, plus a $1 trick that almost doubles the light.
So I have a north-facing house. It is mostly shade. Is there anything edible I can grow in this area? Any options that I might have to redeem this space? Okay, so Kathy Robinson, who's in the class, one thing that she's done is using aluminum foil to capture more sunlight. So basically the idea is if your garden has a wall that you can use behind, or you could make a wall behind it with cardboard or wood and cover it with aluminum foil with the shiny side out, and then basically place that behind your planting bed. The reflection is going to add more sun to your plants. And people do this with indoor seed starting, which is the picture that's shown here. And people do this when they're growing plants indoors, large plants indoors like tomato plants and pepper plants. A lot of times they'll create little enclosures that are reflective. And I know Crystal, who grows a lot of microgreens, she's got a sort of shiny surface that's, it's not aluminum foil, it's like a specialty product that's basically reflects more light back at her plants so that you can get the most out of the light that you have. Now, the other thing you can do, so this is the part that's people always want to know about. There are edible weeds that do like shade. So dandelion, mallow, sow thistle, wild lettuces, nettles, wild brassicas, and onion are all things that can thrive with the shade. And once they're established, they don't need a lot of maintenance. Now, that'll change the way you cook and what you cook, because a lot of those are edible weeds that you're not really accustomed to growing or eating. But they are super nutritious, and they're also medicinal too. So changing the perspective and saying, okay, maybe it's not what I'm used to growing, but maybe I can try something different. So those are some of the things that you might try. And then the other things that you might look at are edible flowers and perennials that like shade. So fiddlehead ferns, I should have brought a photo of that. So fiddlehead ferns are a very specific type of fern. They like the shade. And in the spring, the sprouts of the fern, they're kind of curlicues, and you can get them at farmers markets oftentimes. Those are things that you can grow. They're full of vitamins and they are prolific in the spring. Violets are a kind of flower that you can grow in the shade. Daylilies have edible shoots that you can grow in the shade. So daylilies, they like dappled light generally. Some like more or less sun than others, but they have shoots that come up every year and you can harvest those shoots, and you don't have to, I wouldn't harvest all of them because you want the daylilies to keep growing back, but you could harvest some of those shoots. And actually other parts of the daylily are edible too. So the pod, when the flower pod grows in, you can actually eat the flower pod. You can saute that up and eat that as well. So those are some edible flowers and perennials. And then greens that grow slower in the shade. So I've talked about this in the Garden Freedom series, and it's in the video titled Grow Double the Harvest in Half the Space. I talk about how in the shade, everything grows a little slower. And so you can grow things like arugula, sorrel, and shiso, those are three things that I've grown in the shade that do decently. I've also grown some bok choy that grew pretty decently in the shade. And I haven't tried Thai and purple basil, but I'm told that they thrive without sun. But if you have just a couple hours even of sun, those are things that can grow. They're just going to grow slower. So you have to have more patience in the shade. And that means that you might harvest it when it's smaller, and that's okay. You might also consider growing things like pea shoots and then harvesting them as shoots and not growing them into giant peas. So those are some things that you could consider. And I'm going to double check the chat box because people might have some additional comments. Yeah, so Crystal says, Mylar, I've heard people have a lot of success just with white shiny surfaces as well. Some say the white shiny surface works even better. So white, Mylar, it's spelled M-Y-L-A-R, and it's actually, as an architect, Mylar is a material that we used to use all the time for ink on Mylar drawings. That's how we used to design buildings, and apparently now they're using Mylar for other things now that architects work in the digital world online. So Mylar, yes, is a white, glossy, shiny surface, semi-plastic surface. So that's another thing that you could try as well to create that surface.
That's all 5 greens: pea shoots, microgreens, leafy greens for tiny beds, and wild greens for shade. If even one of these inspired you, pick the one that fits your space and start this week. And if you want more videos like this, small space gardening, real food in real places, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We publish a new video every single day. We'd love to grow with you. If you'd like more guidance on growing fresh, flavorful greens, even in small spaces, Stacey has put together a simple guide for you. You can download it for free at growyourownvegetables.org/growyourgreens. The link is in the description below. And if you'd like to keep learning alongside other gardeners just like you, we have a wonderful free community waiting for you. You can join us at GYOV.org. Thank you for spending this hour with us. We'll see you next week.